Okay guys, what we're going to be doing today is building a bomb. Yeah, see that thing right there? Boom, just throwing us back. This is going to be a little short series trying to keep things tight so we can learn just what we need to. But for this particular one, we're going to be building out some different parts of this bomb. There's some different elements that go along with this. But initially, we just care about making things go boom, right? So we want things to go flying back whenever this bomb goes off. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Okay, so to do that, let's go into our content drawer. Let's go into our user made folder. It's kind of where we want to keep some things. I'm going to right click in here. We're going to do a blueprint class and we're going to make an actor. So we're going to call this BP underscore explosive. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and double click on that. We're going to bring it up here into our main browser window, and we're going to need a sphere first because we're just making like an old school bomb, and probably want to have my details here a little bit. I think I'd like to have kind of a matte black look to this, so I'm going to use the generic HMD material. That's a head mounted display if you're curious. And it gives me a nice kind of flat matte look on there. So next thing I want to do is create the little fuse for the top. So we're going to use a cylinder, and that cylinder just pop right in there. And what I need to do now, let's just call it fuse, and I need to scale this thing. So I'm going to go for the middle part right there and pull it down, and then a little higher, just so it's scaled up a little bit in the vertical. Let's see how it looks on the top. I managed to squish it a little bit, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Let's go ahead and bring it back together. Okay, cool. Doesn't look too bad. Let me go ahead and just push it down in there, and let's have it use the exact same material. There we go. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, looks pretty decent. Let's see, we're not going to add all the special effects to it just yet, so I'm going to just leave it as is. So let's go to our event graph, and a few things that we're going to want to grab are, let's see, well, actually we probably need to add a couple more things. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this back. And one big thing we're really going to need is some radial force. So we're going to go up here to add again, and this is where things are going to get a little bit different. We're going to look for radial force. Now this is the thing that pushes everything back, okay? And that can just stay right there with the default scenery. That's fine. This is kind of like rotating movement or character movement or some other components that are going to affect the world, but the hierarchy doesn't matter as much, okay? All right, so as far as things that we probably need to check on here before we go much further, we want to take a look at some of the settings on the radial force. So make sure you're in the details here. And the radius on this one, if we go to our viewport, we'll be able to see the radius. This is about how far out it's going to affect everything in this space. I think I want to have it affect more of an area, so I want to change it to 1,000. Okay, and then we're going to look through some of these other pieces here too. So it's going to affect these different actors right here, and we can always add more if we want to. Right now, vehicles, destructible elements, physics bodies, pond. This is everything we really want to have right now, so I don't think there's any reason to change that. If we want to take a look through some of the other pieces here, we'll probably want to change the impulse strength. Right now it's set for 1,000. And we may also want to change the force strength. Right now it's only set for 10. So we'll just see what we get out of this kind of bomb, and then we'll start changing it as we need to. Let's go into our event graph here. And what we want to do is we're just going to need to set off the impulse. So we probably want to have it delayed just a little bit so that it doesn't happen right away, so we can kind of get our character in position, just kind of test it out. So let's just do event begin play. Okay, and we're going to use that to start off with. I didn't really have to get rid of it, so do delay. We'll have it delay for about a second so we can see it's there. And of course, this is something we can adjust later, and we probably will, so that, you know, people can run away, or we can make this bomb slowly blow up as opposed to like give you some warning and flash and all that kind of stuff. So I think first thing we're going to want to do is probably make the thing actually blow everything up. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to fire impulse. Okay, so we're going to grab this radial force right here, drag off of it, and we're going to fire impulse right here. There we go. And so that's actually going to use the impulse. And then as soon as that happens, we want it to show an explosion, right? So we're going to spawn an emitter. Spawn emitter, and that's going to be for, if you want to spawn an emitter, that's going to make it happen right where you're going to end up spawning a particle system right there wherever you have this. So one thing that's a little bit different about this is you do need to specify the world location on this. This seems to work a little bit better as opposed to just saying like, okay, yeah, just right there. And it usually ends up showing up at 0, 0, 0 in the world as opposed to right next to where you are. So we're going to grab our sphere. We're going to get the sphere's world location. Okay. There we go. And then we're just going to pop this right in here into our location. So this thing will already be able to take care of itself as far as where it needs to go. The rest of these we don't really have to worry about. We'll just let this emitter run. And I think for this one, we want to look for some explosions. Now, on this one, we don't really have, we have a lot to choose from, but we can't really see it ahead of time. So I'm going to go with maybe the first one I see. This is explosion big A. Okay, sounds good. We can always change it because the bomb's going to go off pretty quickly. And as soon as this happens, we want to destroy our actor, more than likely. So let me go ahead and destroy this, because if we're destroying our actor after we spawn this emitter, the emitter should be separate from our actor. So we shouldn't be getting rid of it right away, but let's see what happens. Okay, so we have this, there's this bomb, and it's always good to throw in some physics actors just so you can kind of see how everything's going to be working. So I'm going to drop these physics actors here. I'm going to leave this bomb over here. Here's me in the middle. That'll be fun. And let's grab our new BP explosive. Okay, I want to have it just kind of sit right about there. And let's see what happens. Okay, it should go off before this one, so okay, it went off and nothing really happened. However, that other one just threw us, so I think I know what's going on, but let's take another look at that real fast. Okay, so we have our explosion, which isn't bad. I think it needs some more power. I think that's really what it is. So I'm going to go back into my explosive. I'm going to save everything real quick too, just to be sure. And the radial force is what we're going to be playing with here. Okay, so right now my radial force is 1,000. Okay, and my force at the strength of the force is pretty low too. So it's like 1,000 by itself. So I'm going to try and crank up the force strength on here first. So I'm going to set this for 500, just to kind of really make that more of a pushing force. And let's get over here. Yeah, still didn't feel much. Okay, and I think I was outside of the area for the other explosive. So let's go ahead and keep cranking on this. Okay, I'm going to take this up to 1,000, and then our impulse strength to 2,000. Oh, that's really high. All right, there we go. And let's see how this goes. Now, I'm actually making a bit of a mistake here. Okay, and I'm doing this a little bit on purpose, just so you guys notice. Like, I've got the force and the strength piled up really high. Well, there's one little checkbox that will make a big difference with what's going on, and that's right here under our impulse strength. Impulse velocity change. What that means is that impulse velocity will cause whatever physics actor or character or whatever it is, whatever it's doing, it's going to make it fly backwards. It's going to be able to make it take over whatever velocity the character currently has. So let's go ahead and hit play. Let's get, oh, see, that knocked me back. Okay, and I floated in the air a little bit because there's some extra little things on the other bomb that allow that to happen. But if I get close, whoop, see, that thing just threw me back there. Oh, and that one did too. So we're actually getting to where we want to be. Now you can play with these values a little bit if you want to. But the main thing is I want to make sure you guys catch that little checkbox right there, impulse velocity change. It doesn't seem to make much difference if you keep adjusting these impulse strength and force strength if that's not checked. So we could probably go a little bit lower with some of these. I think one thing I probably am going to do is on the scale right here, I'm going to change these two because well, I could change the Y too. I was thinking the Y is what we're traveling along, so it may not matter as much. But let's see what this looks like now with that a little bit higher. Okay, it's a little bit bigger explosion. I like that. So as far as making our first explosion and making it interact with a lot of these items, it is doing a pretty good job. It's making us fly around. Now we're going to be adding on some more features like the other bomb has, like the fuse going off. It's starting to flash red before it's about to go off, and also disable the controls on your players. So if they get flung in the air, they can't do any air control to control which way they're going to be going. So just another thing to kind of keep in mind, and we're going to keep adding on to this bomb. This is just our first step. I'll see you in some more tutorials.